Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 on Calmsden Farm. So as you can probably tell, the soybeans are doing really well. We've sorted out this whole field, so field 3 and 2 combined. That's pretty much all done now. We did get the weeds and went over with a weeder, completely sorted that out. So there's nothing left in this field to do except wait for it to grow, get ready to harvest, and then we can obviously start harvesting it. And it's going to be a simple job. There's going to be no straw. We're just going to make pure profit off this field, hopefully. What we should do, because it is an absolutely huge field, and soybeans really does bring in quite a lot of money. So I'm hoping to generate quite a bit of cash, and we've still got the £120,000 loan that I took out to obviously expand down at the cow farm. So what I've also been doing is taking care of the grass fields. So precision farming is probably the best way to show you this. If I jump in, we obviously did a lot of hay recently. I've gone over it with all the nitrogen that I could find. I did go over it, as you can probably tell here, with the remaining amount of slurry that I had. And what it does do since the update is it applies the same as what it did before, so it's 100. Obviously you can't adjust that manually as well. I don't believe you can actually turn down the amount of nitrogen that's being applied when you're putting in slurry or manure, just because it has a set amount of nitrogen and that's just what's applied to the field. It doesn't matter though, because it just means that you don't have to do any more fertilising. You probably, if you're going to put down, it might last out for 2 cuts of that grass field. So if you do it, you might get 2 cuts before you need to do it again. What I did do is I went over it with some solid fertiliser, and I used hardly any because it was already very close in most of the fields areas. It already had the required amount, which is around 55-60 depending on the soil type. But in some areas I did have to apply, but it was small amounts, and yeah, so all these fields are technically fertilised now at the required level, and you can tell how much and how less really fertiliser it now needs, or nitrogen. So that's all done. Now in the state that they are currently, if we just go over to here, bring on grass fields, it does say ready to harvest, but unfortunately we are at the point that I usually wait for. It says ready to harvest, but really you want it to go to that extra stage when it turns to head. So these fields we can't really do much work on at the moment. We're just waiting, and then obviously I'm going to be doing what I said previously. We're going to do some grass silage in a bunker, and I think I'm actually going to try and do it the proper way, even though it's a lot more work when really we could just get a pickup wagon or a pickup trailer, whatever you want to be calling them, and then just put it in the bunker itself. But I think I'm actually going to try and use a forage harvester, course play, auto drive, everything like that, and we're going to be also doing some carting itself just to try and see what it looks like. So now just a bit of an update on the sheep. The pasture is completely maxed out. We've got the maximum amount of sheep, which is 200. They obviously, some of them are around 8 months, the rest are like pretty mature, so they're around 20 months old, and there's no more space now for breeding. So we could try and do some rotation on this if wanted, but I'll be honest, I'd be happy to get them all to a mature age and just take wool, because we're going to sell wool every April time like we did last time. It just brings in such good cash, and as you can tell, we're in June already and we've got this much, so we're doing pretty well. But I will just keep stacking this away and as we get it, and then we'll try and take it all in one go. Depends on how many we get really, or how much we get, because if it gets too much, this is going to get too full, so it's going to probably tip over, or it's just going to be pretty unrealistic to try and drive that. But at least the sheep are giving us some good cash. They really are a great way of earning money and not doing much. All you need to do is give them a bit of feed, give them some water, and just leave them to it, and then you'll get a lot of wool, and wool really does have a high price on it, and especially if you try to do some production features and turn it into clothes or anything like that, that might be a really good idea. So that actually brings me on to my next point, which is productions. So far in FS22 I haven't really done much production at all really, and I think the reason for it is just because I like the farming side of things, I like the animal side of things, but I've kind of missed it off, and I think it probably is a good idea if I try and move now towards some form of production. Now, because we obviously generate some wool, we've obviously got quite a lot of grain or anything we need that way, we have got some good options, but I think the main thing for us to do right now is a toolbox in the middle of the field. So let's just move that. I haven't got a clue how that got there, I'll be honest. I've got no memory of that. Anyway, yeah, so because of the way we are right now, what we're currently generating, it would be probably the best way would be to do something to do with milk or something to do with the wool. And I think milk, because we are a dairy farm and we are trying to grow out on that kind of side, I think it'd be perfect to get ourselves a little dairy. Now I've been looking around the map, and obviously we need a flat place in this currently. Just take off grass, it's probably better. It's currently this spot, which is, I've got the mod on that fluctuates prices of the fields or price of the land to buy. 19% decrease, so 19%, but it's still £500,000. And the other spot over here is, again, this is even bigger decrease, so the difference is actually 28% saving on what it currently normally should be, should I say, and it's 598. So we're nowhere near getting the money at all to buy some flat land and put some productions down. So what I did was I had a look through some mods on King Mods and also through Mod Hub, and I found something I think will be perfect, and it's a tiny or a small dairy. So as you can see, there's these two options here, 50,000. They're both the same kind of building, they just kind of look different in texture and colour and stuff. So yeah, I think this one's got different walls to it there. You can see it's like a yellow kind of plaster wall, some sort of stone, whereas this is actually brick. And I do like this one. It fits perfectly in the spot I want to try and put it in. So what we're going to do, we've got £99,000 in the bank account. We have made a lot of money from the biogas plant. That's currently turned off. It's switched off. It's got no more silage. Next time we put that in, it'll be from the bunker that we fill up. And hopefully, fingers crossed. I doubt it, because usually we get 2 cuts in a year. If we do get a third, then we'll make some bales as well. But we have done a lot of hay, and I think it's probably going to be unlikely that we get... that we get any, that we get a third cut, just because of the fact that I did replant these fields. If you can remember, I did replant them with a direct seeder, which probably took me back a month, I'd say. So it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to get a third cut, but we'll find out. But yeah, let's get this. We've got, like I said, £99,000 in the bank account. This is going to cost 50,000. It's going to leave us with just under 50,000, and we've got a lot of milk already to bring to it, so we can start generating making some cheese straight away, some butter straight away, and yeah, we can start doing some production side of things. In the long run, I would like to get some more, but in the long run, I'd also like to start doing some root crops, expanding out that way, probably making more grass silage, more hay, expanding our grass fields out, and so on. So there's a lot of things we can do and obviously work towards. The good thing about it, though, is we're always going to have a good source of income from the wool, the milk, and also these great massive fields that we're using to generate some cash as well from harvest. So let's see what this looks like. My idea was to put it here because I do technically own this area, and we could drive through. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, my idea was to drive through at this point, come across, and have it about here. I did try and think to put it here, but I think I'd have to do quite a bit of terraforming after to try and get this a nice, flat, smooth area, and I don't think it'd work too good. Whereas over here, I think we can kind of nurse it a little bit better, I'm hoping for. But there's only one way to find out. I have saved the game just in case this goes terribly wrong. And I know we need to be able to walk behind it, so I think if it's just a little bit off the track, about there... Yeah, that's not gone to plan. I probably need to remove that middle section out, which I can do within the Giants editor, so that's not too bad actually. Just want to make sure that yeah, that's pretty much impossible to get up. I don't think that's worked out the best way. Maybe what we should have done, if I sell this, will I get 50,000 back? I will, so we can correct that. Let's see actually if it does fit better over here. I'm hoping we can get this in and it doesn't look horrendous. So you can tell that it's already terraformed quite a bit, but I actually think that we can work with that, whereas this unfortunately has made a bit of a mess. I'd like to be able to have the option to change the way it's placed, as if like you can tell it to go higher or lower, but it doesn't seem to give us that option anymore. I'm sure they give us that option within FS19. So we need to raise now this patch of land, but I don't think it'll let me do it because of the way the fence is. But what I can do is I can sort that out in the Giants editor. So the next time we start this off, you'll be able to see it, and it'll look a lot better that one, because obviously, because it is floating there a little bit. But overall, I think it looks pretty good where it is. We just try and flatten it off a bit around here, especially up here. We also want to try and gradually flatten off the area above it. There's no sharp areas. But the main thing is we've now got a dairy where we could start making some cheese, and we're going to bring some milk down straight away. Let's just try and get a view from here just to see what it looks like. There's a bit there that I probably want to sort out a little bit, maybe. I think that's the best we're going to get. I think that is. It's not too bad. Probably want to put in some form of track though. I mean, you'd probably see it this area now. A proper concrete. Maybe this. Some gravel. And I think it would look a lot better by doing that. So let's make a track going up here like that. There we go. Just like that. And then I will sort that bit out as well. I'll remove this gate completely and the fence all the way up to the hedge so it doesn't float like you can see currently. And I will as well sort the terrain out at that point, because this will no longer exist, so it should allow me to smooth that out. And then what I want to do is just try and make ourselves another track going up here that meets probably around there. Kind of smooth it out. I think that looks pretty good, you know. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does the job. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We need to probably make this uniform to what that is. So let's, in fact, go across just like that. And we'll get rid as well of this. Now we can't get rid of the nettles that Oxy's made. So you can see the nettles and these are the ones, I forgot the name of them, but so they are actually applied directly to the map on a different layer. You can remove them, but it's a Giants editor job, and you need to start a new save game for them to show up as disappeared. So we're going to have to leave them in like that, and I think we'll leave this kind of gap between. There's a track as well there. There's another track there leading to this field. Plenty of entrances to that field, so that doesn't do any harm. But what we want to do is probably just try and tidy this up a little bit. Put a bit of grass down. Same with that. That's got a nice texture anyway. We can sort that out. There's a few spots over here that we may as well clean up. We don't want to go too far because of this track. And I will leave that like that. I think, do you know what? I think that might be spot on. It might be some bumpy bits, but there's only one way to find out if this has worked, which is obviously get hands on and drive through it. So we'll do that in a second when we take the milk in, but let's just quickly put a bit of grass around here just to try and improve the way it looks. It is a shame sometimes, the terrain in editing tool, because you can have it in your mind how you want it to look, but then sometimes the terrain tool just doesn't allow you to match that same ambition, let's say. There we go. I think it looks pretty good though, in all fairness. It's not too shabby. We'll get rid of that bush because I didn't like it. Maybe bring that in a little bit with a bit of grass just to see if it was like patching over. And then what we want to do one more time is sculpting. We want to go to smooth this patch out here because I can see, especially there, I don't know if it'll allow me to do that. There is a few little bumps there. But you know what, I'm happy with it. Overall, I'm pretty happy. Let's see if we can find some decorations here just to make it look a bit more realistic. So I have got some ground textures like oil tyres, as you can see here. But you do have to kind of place them right. I'm not going to do it there because that's going to change. But especially here, where you're going to see a lot of vehicles moving in and out, that's alright. I mean, actually that one's... There we go. I think it's because of the land, you can see even that's got an edge pointing out, but I think it looks alright. Same again with that, so we'll have to remove that. Yeah, it does normally need to be quite flat, but what you can do is put cracks in. So if it is tarmac like this, you can put cracks in and it does make a difference, it really does. But again, you do want to try and place it on probably points that you'd expect to see it, so you could see it there. You could also see it by this gate, but I will properly sort this out after I've done some terrain editing. We're going to have to come in from this direction, but overall I think it looks pretty good. I also really like this one. It's like as if you've had a bit of work done to some of the road. So if this was tarmac just here, you could put that down as if someone's come in and done a bit of work. You can even put a wheelbarrow in. Why not? There we go. Weirdly, that terrain edits as well as it's being placed. Maybe a ladder. I don't know why you need a ladder, but we're going to put it in. And, oh, definitely one of them. We've already got one, but, you know, we can put a few down here. And actually, that's actually brought that up a bit, which might help us. It might be pretty a good idea to do that. There will be other things, but it's just trying to find the right things to place down. A recycling bin. Why not? Probably that way. There we go. I'm happy with that. I think it looks a lot better. Let me just try and smooth this last bit out. I think that's the best we're going to do. I'm hoping this isn't turned out too bad. We can get around the back. I haven't actually looked at the terrain on the back, see if I can do anything yet, because of the hedge really didn't mess it up. It was only at this point here. But we'll sort something out here as well. You never know, we could place something here like some honey, some beehives, even some more chickens. Well, we have got chickens down at the bottom, but I never use them. But if we start productions, we might need the eggs, so at least we've got a spot here for something along them lines. But I'm going to leave this section here. I'll do some Giants editor work and then I'll come back in. So probably the next episode you'll see a big difference here and hopefully it'll look a lot better. But overall, I think that's pretty sweet. So let's just jump over here and have a look. And in fact, we could probably jump in the Joeys and just see how it performs. See if it is bumpy. I mean, it's bumpy, but not massively. I'm happy. I really am. The one thing I don't like, I'm not too keen on, is that. That's quite off-putting, so we're going to have to sort that out really quickly. And then obviously down here is an absolute mess. So, construction again, landscaping, and what we're going to do is just try our best. Sometimes as well, if you're standing too close to it, it won't allow you. But we want to flatten, or raise probably. Yeah, I'm too close. So let's just move back. Construction again. And we want to raise this little bit over here, so I'm saying probably a square patch might be better. Now, personally, I think it is difficult to get this spot on, but it can be done. So now I actually think now it is much better. So let's have a look now from the ground. There you go. I mean, it's not too bad at all, that isn't, in all fairness, but it does look better. So we've got ourselves a dairy. So we'll come here to tip the milk. We can flatten that a bit down or even hide it with a bush. And then if we go into this, you can see now we've got not only the normal stuff from the biogas plant and some planks, which we're not going to do in this series because we're not going to be doing logging on Calmsden, but yeah, we've got butter and cheese, and if we ever do sugar beets or even sugar cane, which is very unlikely, more likely sugar beets on this map, we can try and get a bit of chocolate done. Fingers crossed, but still early days. But let's go now and actually do something a little bit productive and go and get the trailer, put some milk in, send it over here. So it has been a bit of a strange episode. Usually I like to do some farming really, and we're not at that point. We're waiting for the grass. We're obviously waiting for the linseed. That is 1 month away as well, so that's very close to being something we're going to start doing. Let's just actually have a look at the cows and the feed and everything. So sheep require some grass or hay very soon. Water they're pretty good for. The cows have got plenty of straw. Slurry's building back up, and as you can tell, the milk pretty much is going to be empty now. So yeah, it's 839 litres left. We'll transfer that whole trail load over to the dairy. TMR they're doing pretty good at. In fact, I have actually just remembered that I want to do something. So what we're going to do, we're not going to be able to scroll, so first thing, go to the map. I'm going to jump over to the biogas plant, because all the silage that we took has processed, and I put this vehicle in, part of the biogas plant, so the company owns this, and we're going to pay him £500 for every trip he brings the digestate back to our storage tank. It's probably going to be about 2 trips, so we're going to have to pay £1,000 for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up first, just to see how much we do have. I think it's going to be 2 trips. We need to go from digestate fill, which if you just have a quick look on here, there's digestate fill. It does link, and then the trigger's perfect on that. Digestate empty is back at my farm. We want it to be digestate. We want 2 trips. So we set him going now. He'll go straight to digestate empty. He'll take it, come back, fill up again, and he'll just carry on till he's done the 2 loops. We might have to go to him at the second loop and say move on, because he won't be full, so we'll just have to tell him to carry on, but we can do that. But let's get back to the Joeys, and let's take this milk. So I'm going to swing it around, we'll head back. Now I'm hoping that lorry that I've brought back with some fertiliser, which is my next job, isn't going to be in the way, but I don't think it will be. So I did use the remaining amount of fertiliser, even though I didn't use much at all in the field itself, solid fertiliser for grass. I did use the rest of it. So what I've decided to do was I bought 10 big bags, and they're on that lorry. I've also brought back the seeds that have been there for probably longer than they should have. So we'll sort that out and put them away just before the video ends. But the main thing is to get this cheese, get it going. We're also going to need some form of forklift soon. I do think having a forklift will help, because they're so easy to use compared to the attachments of a telehandler. They really are. Right, so I've come in this way just because the JCB hasn't got the best turning, so I thought it made more sense to come in this direction. So let's just drop this off and we can set it going. Now, I didn't look at the cycles actually, which is something interesting, because it did say in the description for the mod that it was 25% less because it's so small. So you can see it's only 360 cycles every month, which is not very good really at all, but it is what it is. We can set it going though, so if we activate cheese, we can set this going. Butters and cheese, in fact, is there's a lot more cycles to that, so there's 912, which will, so one cycle basically turns 3 litres of milk into 2 litres of cheese. So it's not the fastest, it really isn't, but it'll still do the job, just slowly. So we'll have to just wait and see how fast it's churning it out, literally. Right, so this guy's unloading the digestate in. He's doing his first delivery. So at the end of this, we'll charge him. Well, we'll pay £1,000 for this service of the biogas plant, because they are delivering our byproduct for us. There you go. So he should just naturally drive off on his merry way, pick up his second load. But when he gets there, we're going to have to tell him to just move on instead of waiting. We can set up a setting, I think, where we can tell it to fill level, but it's just easier to do that right now. So what we need to do now is just finally unload this. As you can see, we've got 12,000 litres of solid fert. Now I'm hoping it's this side I've got. Yes, it is. So that helps a lot. And then we can take all the strapping off, turn the engine back off. And again, this is not ours, this is part of the stores, but we got it delivered. Yeah, I am thinking of putting it in here where the fertiliser was originally with the spreader, just makes sense. And the good thing about it is because these are not the Hofbergman bags, they're not 2,000 litres, so they're only 1,000. And that benefits us because it means we can pick up 4 at a time. If we aim this right now. I haven't done it first person view, so this is going to be interesting. Now I've doubted myself there, I was a bit out. Well, there you go, that's 4. Dead easy. So we'll just place them probably to the right hand side. I think we'll fit 12 in here, we should do. And they're not the biggest, but I think it's just going to fit in 12. Definitely, that'll fit 12 in. There we go, that's the first 4. I will stay in third person view. It's a little bit tricky in first when you're trying to pick up 4 big bags. Just about do it in first person when I'm picking up 1, never mind 4. It does help when you use the mod though, the realistic cab view mod, because you can actually lean forward and lean back and lean sideways and so on, which helps when trying to position and see the forks and where they are. Look how easy this is. When you can pick up 4 at a time, it really does make this a much easier job. Instead of handling 12, we're only going to handle this 3 times. And they kind of sit really nice as well. So the last 4, and this will be job done. I do need to take off the seeds though, and I don't know if I've got a pallet fork. I should have. I don't think I haven't used it in a while, so maybe it's just eluding me. I think we need to widen the forks there. There we go. Just about got that one on. See if we can nudge it. Yeah, there you go. So in the next episode we will definitely either be doing the grass silage in the bunker or we'll be moving on to the linseed. Whatever comes first. If they're both ready at the same time we'll just have to make a call. I might do the silage first just because the sooner we get that done the sooner we can see if we get a chance to do a third cut instead of lingering on it. To make sense to just get that done. So there we go, that's that done. Anyway, so we've put away the big bags, got plenty of fertiliser now. So all we need to do now at this point is just press the arrow and he'll carry on, and then that'll be job done for him. We can go back here. What I will do now quickly though is just charge myself £1,000. There we go, so that's £1,000 gone for the delivery charge. So yes, I have got a pallet fork just there, so let's park this away and get them bags of seeds off. We'll keep them down here, it doesn't really matter. So somehow I've actually just picked up both of these. I think the fork just extends enough for me to grab that. What we'll do is I'll put them in here, because I haven't actually showed you that I put all the hay away using the telehandler and the spike that I left just there, and I kind of stacked up in the top right corner of this open area, so there's plenty of space in here for bales. And I was thinking if we ever do need to put some straw away and we haven't got enough space outside, because I was going to be putting maybe straw in one of these two, having an overflow of some sort, for example seed bags, anything like that we just done. But yeah, I filled this one up with hay and then I had to pile this away in here, and it just shows how many hay bales we actually got. We got a hell of a lot. And with this as well, we were picking up 3 at a time, and taking off the autoload trailer was pretty easy work. So that's that done. So what we can do is jump back in this, shut the cover, and then we'll send this back to the store. Now I haven't got a clue how this is going to perform on this corner, but there is only one way to find out. So let's send him back. Dealer, the shop and the store, off you go. And I've got probably 50% confidence that he's going to make that corner at the bottom there. But let's see. Let's just wait and see what he does here. As long as he doesn't do any crop damage, I'm happy. I think he's going to do this, you know. There you go. I doubted myself. I doubted myself on my own auto drive network, but that worked a treat. So again, let's just scoot over to here and just finally have a look. And yeah, there he is, turning up, delivering the last load. So this is going to bring us to quite a lot of digestate sitting in here. There's 30,000 currently in there, and we're going to put another 12 in. And I think we've got around 20,000 at least of slurry. Yeah, 27,000 litres of slurry as well to use. So when we do our next mow of grass, we should have plenty of slurry and digestate, and even manure as well to sort them fields out. But I think on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. It's been a bit of a strange one. Normally I like to do a bit of farming. I also like to try and get a montage in, but I haven't done one of them recently due to the fact that I've not really done the right job for it. So hopefully though, in the next episode with the silaging that we're going to do in a bunker, that'll be a perfect job for a montage, and the same for the linseed harvest, and then eventually moving on to the soybeans. But thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Do appreciate that every time. Also, if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.